welcome to another episode. My name is Dean Vass. You can find me on X at hashtag Kangas, Instagram hashtag Kangaroos podcast. Tonight, I'm back talking about the women's team and another win there. Nothing to see, really. I do have the pleasure of having on Claire Cozzi and Jacinta. Girls, a big welcome. But before we get into the women's program, rumours about the men's team have come to light today that we may have met Jamarra Ugle-Hagan. Jacinta, I'm going to start with you here because I haven't had you on for a few weeks. It's a little confusing. Last week, our captain looked like he wanted out, and now he's at the Brownlow with his mates and meeting up with Ugle-Hagan, apparently. Not just meeting up, but trying to persuade him to come to the club almost. What is going on in this world, Jacinta?
First of all, hi, Dean, but I have been thinking about Jai so much the past week. He has really consumed my brain. I mean, this thing with Jamarra is interesting because at first I thought maybe we're trading him for Jamarra, but that's obviously not going to happen. But, I mean, Jai in general is interesting just because I think if he wasn't captain, you think, yeah, it's a good move, let's trade him out. But, yeah, just that captaincy title makes it really difficult. And now if he's selling the club to players, surely he can't be going anywhere because Jamarra's first question would be, but you're not even going to be here next year, mate. So I guess it just makes me think that Jai is really not going anywhere. They must have said something to him. They must have or maybe the clubs that came for him just weren't right for him, and the club said we're not going to pay out the rest of that contract. So you find someone to cover it all, or you're not going anywhere. So yeah, it just seems to me that he's sticking with us. So I'm guessing he's going to lose that captaincy, and I don't know. I don't know about Jamarra. I don't know what to think. I'm sure there are a few clubs in front of him at the moment, so it's unlikely that we'll get picked anyway, honestly.
Very optimistic there, Jacinta.
Sorry.
No, I like it. Straight to Claire, it's very confusing. I think Jacinta's very confusing. My head's spinning a bit in the last few hours. I don't know what's going on in the last week with the men's program. The rumours swirling around. Yeah, Simpkin wanted out. He was his manager was asking about other clubs. Now all of a sudden he's trying to recruit players by the sounds of it. I don't know if you take this with any sort of truth, but are you on board with the Ugle-Hagan bus if he does want to come to North Clare?
Oh, Dean. You know what? It's not that complicated. It's quite simple. Jai Simpkin was told categorically by the Sandringham Zebras he wouldn't get any mid-time. So that was the only club.
That's harsh, Claire. He's our club captain. So.
Well, he is a club captain, but when you dangle yourself out on the line like that, Dean, to be fair, you do ask for criticism, and how he has probably handled a meeting in which people have told him he is not the future, and his role will be moved towards a more wing, maybe half forward. I don't think he's taken that on the chin, and therefore, as a supporter, if your leader is making these calls and saying he deserves better, then if you step out of line, you deserve a bit of criticism coming your way back. And I am and I've said this on Twitter and I've made it public, I do like Jai. I think he's a really nice bloke. I think he's done some great things for the club, but I think leaders behave in very different ways and lead in different ways. And I don't think what Jai has done in the past 2 weeks has shown good leadership. So therefore, he gets his whack. That being said, going back to your initial question, I am confused about him being on our Brownlow table and him apparently in discussions with Jamarra. I categorically don't think that Jamarra is a good fit. I haven't really changed the stance. Remember us speaking about this maybe with Siobhan a couple of months back. I just don't think that North Melbourne at this current stage has the facilities, the resources and the people to get around Jamarra, and I do hope potentially that he does find those things that he needs, but I don't think the club is going to be North Melbourne, and therefore I also think, Dean, like I said off air, I don't think North Melbourne need to be considering forward targets. I think, as we have known for maybe 5 years now, we probably should be looking at key backs. So not entertaining it and not interested from my point of view, I guess.
Yeah, no, fair point, I suppose. Yeah, and it does. A lot of people would be concerned with the cultural fit. I I think he's a better bloke than like a Taron Thomas. Like, not to make comparisons or anything like that. I think that history was always there with Taron Thomas, that he was just a dickhead. Whereas Hugo Hagen, I think, has got involved with the wrong crowd and been in the wrong environment on certain occasions. Has made some bad choices in that. There's no doubt about that. And it's probably affected his football. And obviously, the Western Bulldogs, have had enough of it and decided, well, he's not worth it. I still think there's a player there. There's potential for a Lance Franklin type of player here, and they don't grow on trees. And his value at the moment is probably at an all-time low. You wouldn't have to give much to get him. And a club like us, who don't seem to be going very far, I know there's room for upside, and we could get to 8 to 10 wins next year and then build from that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that have to go right for that. We're still a fair way off. I think our culture, like players like Harry Sheezel and a number of others, can hopefully turn it around if he did decide to come to us. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'd rather a player that's got upside like this, and I know a lot of people are going to come at me for this, but I'd rather a player with upside like this rather than a player that's just doesn't have upside. That's, I don't know, Charlie Spargo or something like that. He's a sort of nothing player. Just plays a role for a team. He's never going to be anything better than what he is. Whereas Hugo Hagen has got that potential to be a very good player. And when you're winning games of football and you seem to keep yourself out of trouble off field, people forget things very, very quickly. It's funny how that goes. Jordan Ngoe, was sniffing cocaine or doing whatever he was on a girl in Bali.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think he was up for sexual assault charges.
Well, that's right. It wasn't that long ago either, Claire, and people have almost just forgotten about that. And, you go to Collingwood games, they're happy to cheer him.
Unfortunately, on the record, I will not. I still think
of course. No.
Yeah. I just don't think he's a good human being. Maybe he's had some redemption arc, but, I'm shocked that AFL footballers are given redemption arcs, Dean. That is new news to me. Look.
Well, we talked about Carey off air too, like all the things that he's done. He still seems to be relevant in the media now. So
yeah. Unfortunately, I actually made a tweet maybe today about it. I think the difference between Essendon supporters and North supporters is, because of Wayne Carey, we don't have the nostalgia. Like, of course, 99, 96 and that era is important to us, but we've been able to let go in a way that Essendon supporters can't, because we've had the damage of what Carey did to the club. Whereas, you would have thought with the drug saga and with Herd that maybe Essendon supporters would be able to let go, but they still haven't yet. And I just think that has actually held the club back, Essendon Football Club back, in a really big way. And I know that North Melbourne supporters are put into a whole bunch of different camps around Wayne Carey and separating the art from the artist and things like that. But I think it's important to understand, whilst he is a great figure for the North Melbourne Football Club, I think that the irreparable damage that he is created, it was really harmful and damaging. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why North sits culturally as a club that is now really inclusive, that has great huddle programs, great pride. Like, it's gone in the complete direction of making sure it's a really progressive and inclusive club. And I'm proud of what they're doing now, I guess. So, sorry to monologue. I appreciate it.
I liked it.
Well, I'm really proud of what we've been able to. And to go back to the Jamarra Ugle-Hagan thing, I'm proud of what we've been able to achieve as a club and culturally speaking, what we are doing. So, is it worth the risk of a player coming in and potentially shaking those cultural, I guess, pillars that we've created? I don't think so, personally. But, it's everyone's entitled to their opinion. So fair enough.
No, of course. No, and that's exactly right. We'll move forward to the women's team. Now, Jacinta, this is a lot more positivity and a lot more upside with the talk. We don't have to worry about key defenders here or anything like that. The future of key defenders.
No holes.
No, 100%. And I actually think the Blues played all right over the weekend, but we still get a 9-goal win. And it just goes to show, I mean, the gap right now is ridiculous because they were third on the ladder. And they've beaten some good teams. I mean, they haven't fallen in like some teams. Just beaten the cellar dwellers. They've beaten Brisbane and had a couple of decent results. I know they've smashed Gold Coast, but Gold Coast were quite competitive against Adelaide over the weekend. So not a bad result when you think of it in context like that. So, but it was another impressive win, wasn't it, Jacinda?
Yeah, I am with you. I don't think Carlton actually played that badly. I think if I was a Carlton supporter, I would probably be pretty wrapped with the result and also how they played. I think that they do have, I guess their structure seems better than what it was last year, but they couldn't compete in the middle. They just got smashed. And I think their defense was actually okay. It held up pretty well considering we only kicked 12 goals from 100 inside 50s. But just
I think it was about 55, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, see, that's crazy. I don't think any defense could hold up against that. I don't even think ours could hold up with that. That's just ridiculous. So I guess that just the damn wall broke at some point, and but otherwise I didn't feel the need to. I don't know. Sometimes I just get like irrationally like angry at the other teams because I'm just like, why are they flooding? Why don't they try and kick a goal? But I actually think Carlton actually tried most of the game. So, no, I was pretty happy with them. Obviously, the usual suspects, Riddell, Garner, all guns. So, just another, it was a Saturday, wasn't it? Another weekend, another happy weekend.
Yeah, it's they seem to do it pretty well. Claire coming off a 6-day break from Brisbane and with some injuries as well. I mean, they don't dwell on it, Claire. They seem to relish the challenge each week, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're pretty. They're a juggernaut in terms of the systems in which they play in. So if you lose a soldier, you gain a soldier, and I think that's pretty evident with the Vicky Wall laid out, and Amy Mangan Gavin came in and did the role really well. It was nice to see Tessa Boyd back out there again. I was able to catch her dad on the way in. He's a proud Anglesea Football Club supporter, and they got a win on the weekend as well, a premiership win. So we're having a good yarn about Tessa Boyd's back and how she's going and her loving her football at North. And yeah, they're pretty complete. I'm just looking at the stats now, and I did admire Carlton's capacity to score. But that being said, they scored 4-2 for the game, and we ended up kicking like 4-2 just in the last quarter. So you know what I mean? Like, I think, Dean, you put it best. Like, even if teams do come for you, we put together a patch of maybe 5 to 10 minutes of football, and it goes to bed pretty quickly. So yeah, I think it was nice to see Carlton score 26. I did say last podcast I really want to see an offensive attacking style, and it was good. They great. There was some great transition plays. I was on the wing watching Tara Bohanna. She came all the way from essentially her half back all the way to get into the goal square and make sure she was ready to take the leading mark. So yeah, they played with a more offensive flair, which I was really interested to see, and they had some good moments. But yeah, the North juggernaut keeps on rolling on, and I think the scoring capacity, their mids, and their really solid backline just means they're pretty bulletproof at the moment. Touch wood, that is. So yeah.
No, pretty well summed up there. I mean, they had 21 inside 50s as opposed to ours 55. Jacinda. I mean, I think Claire summed it up pretty well. That I mean, we play a forward half game. It's in the forward half pretty much 70% of the game, and it's only a matter of time before we just break teams open and kick 3 to 4 to 5 goals and really break their hearts within about a 5 or 10 minute period, because you can't sustain that pressure or get pressure, have the ball against against your defense for that long without conceding the score, especially when you've got Talia Randall, a number of others, Elise O'Loughlin, Vicky Wall, even though she didn't play, Kate Sheila, Ballaretti and all that. It's only a matter of time before we break teams open, isn't it, Jacinda?
Yeah, exactly. The forward line is way too dangerous to even let 25, 30 inside 50s in there. And then when you throw in the midfielders that are kicking goals as well, like Amy Smith's kicking goals, all of a sudden Garner's obviously she bloody leading the AFLW Coleman or whatever they call it these days. Riddell's kicking goals too. So yeah, I mean, even outside of the forwards, like O'Loughlin and Randall played really well as well. But yeah, if you try and let's say you stop 4 or 5 of the forwards, the midfields are going to come through and kick them anyway. So I don't envy the defensive coaches from the oppositions because I don't know. I wouldn't have a solution to it. I really wouldn't. And then that's what makes me think, oh, I get it. I get why teams just flood everyone back and just do damage control because I don't know how you stop it. But yeah, I guess we are definitely not the team to concede 55 entries for because you will get punished. So yeah, another exciting day in that forward 50.
Definitely. You'd love to be a forward in that team. Claire, now, unfortunately, Nicole Bresnahan is out for the year with a torn ACL at training last week. Tough blow. Taylor Gatt has confirmed to be out for 4 to 5 weeks with syndesmosis. Elise O'Loughlin, injury now with a lacerated liver. Yeah, she's okay, which is the main thing because that can be life-threatening, I should say. Injuries pile up, but we find players and they come in and play a role. Gavin Mangan, look good. She's got a bit of pace, the Irish recruit. Vicky Waugh are laid out as well. Eliza Shannon has stepped up this year, become a key cog in at defence. Tessa Boyd has come into the team late and looks a quality player. Eilish Sheeran is elite. They just go about their business each week, and whoever plays, they just step up, don't they?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible the depth that they've been able to create. I think about she's only 20. What? Not 20. She's only 35, maybe turning 36 this year. Carney was winding back the clock on the weekend with her running carrying. And you got to remember we missed a large chunk of Carney last season because of her injury. And now that I think about it, they even gave her percentage of time of ground in prelim. Like she only played, 30 or 40% of prelim. So she's raring to go at the bit and she's loving playing the half-back role. Erica O'Shea, I think, has stepped up. She's gone to another level this year, same as Tripodi, same as Craven, same as Amy Smith as well. So I just think that the gap between the Riddells and the Garners, whilst it looks on paper to be quite big because of the stats, I think by osmosis training with this so much talent, the intra-club match at North is probably the highest tier of football you can play at the moment. Like, considering how far ahead North are at in terms of the ladder and in terms of what they're doing to other teams, playing on Ghana in an intra-club match is the best way to mentor yourself as a midfielder, or standing beside Carney and looking at her running patterns and where she's going. And I can see that in the development of Erica O'Shea. Like on the weekend, she really had just free reign to be let off the leash and run and bounce and carry and use the ball and transition. And I think if you watch her from her first debut game to now, maybe in the start you could have said she hacked the ball a bit. She didn't get that much distance behind her kicks. Now she's hitting targets. She's pinning them back and she's hitting really good targets in forward 50. And I think that is just a testament to her development as a player. So, touch wood because we don't want more injuries, but I think it's just incredible North's depth to cover what potentially they've lost. So, yeah, I mean, I hope that we see a few more debutants. I'd love to see Alice Slocum. I'd love to see Georgia Stubbs come in. I love watching Ariana Hetherington as well, but she's got to fight Emma King before she gets back. But, yeah, I just think that North play a really good system and it's know your role, play your role, as opposed to relying on specific star players to carry the load, which is probably a reason why they're so far ahead of the pack at this stage.
No, that certainly looks like it. I mean, it's fair to say, Jacinda, I think injuries is the only thing that could stop this winning streak right now.
Yes, because it's definitely not going to be the, I guess, the getting ahead of themselves thing. That is definitely not a theme at North Melbourne this year. So it will be injuries, and I think not only the injuries, because I think if we have 3 or 4 or 5, 6, we can probably cover, but it's more the fact that if we get injuries, then we can't rest the players that maybe need that break. Because, I mean, we do have some aging players, even though they're playing really well. They probably do need their minutes managed a bit. So I guess the more injuries we get, the less chance we get to rest players like Sheila and even Jenna Bruden and, these players that do need that rest. That's probably the only worry, is that they might have to, if not play all the games, play maybe only miss one. And that is that could be a concern come the end of the year, especially now that their workloads are all increasing. Because is there only 30 players on the list in the whole squad?
Yeah, something like that. Do you know that, Claire? I think it's about 28 or 30. It's not that much, is it?
No, I thought it was 28 with the capacity to top up if there are long-term injuries.
Okay, so we're already like, that's what are we at then? We've only got like 25 players to pick from at the moment. That makes it a little bit rough, but
to be fair though, like having a look, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. I wish it was a lot better, and I think that they need to extend the playing lists, and I'd love that to happen. But a lot of clubs are in very similar situations.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, like a lot of clubs are suffering and hemorrhaging under this idea that they're capped at how many players they can play. So it's really a question of extending the playing list sizes for me. But yeah, agreed. It piles up and it can dent our premiership hunt though. That's definitely fair to say, Jessina. I would agree.
Yeah, I think that's probably the only thing. We just don't want to push the players too hard because we have no one else to come in for them. But yeah, at this point we can still cover. So I guess hopefully nothing too damaging happens in the meantime while we get some of these troops back.
Oh, well, they get plenty of rest probably in the second half of games, Jessina. I mean,
that's true. That is very true.
We're up by 10 goals about half time, so they could just go and pretty much chill in the forward pocket.
Oh, eat a kebab, hey?
Well, yeah, Dangerfield likes so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Claire, have we got the two best players in the competition? Ash Riddell, Jasmine Garner. Ash Riddell breaks a record, 44 touches. Jasmine Garner, 29 disposals and 2 goals as well. It's hard to find a better duo than them two in the competition.
I'm going to say yes, but that's not a really good answer because it's all over within that. But look, Riddell has always been the bridesmaid to Jazz Garner. They do steal off each other, but I think being best friends and business partners, they don't mind too much. But yeah, look, they are the 2-punch combo that I don't think many sides are able to contain, because if you're able to keep Jazz Garner down, which I've not seen anyone do, you can't keep Ash. So yeah, it's pretty hard. I've been looking a lot on watching a lot of AFLW games, thinking who are the best top 5, I guess, midfielders in the league. And yeah, I'd say Ash and Jazz have it covered by a bit of a gap. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. Like, I was watching the Suns game and I really like Charlie Rowbottom.
Yeah,
she's grouse. I think she ended up polling 8 coaches' votes in that one. And I like Ebony Naranoff still. And I was a really big fan of Ali Anderson. But unfortunately, they've a bit plateaued and regressed, I guess, maybe with their footy. And I'm just not seeing as much. Georgie Press-Barkis is still good to watch. And I think she's going to be fun. But yeah, in terms of what's the difference between the Ash Riddell Garner 2-punch combo, I don't think many teams are able to put up anything against that attack at the moment, which great for us, horrible for the league, but not my problem.
Well, Jazz Garner missed a game as well, only a couple of weeks ago with after she did her ankle. That's another player that missed a week. We've had Bella Eddie miss a couple of weeks. So, yeah, we've certainly had our injuries this year, and there's been plenty of room for excuses, but they haven't made any. And, a couple of players that have really stepped up here this year, Jacinta, I think Claire's already mentioned them, but Amy Smith, 27 touches on the weekend, 5 tackles, and 7 intercepts for a winger. I mean, she's a very good player and turned into an elite winger, hasn't she, Jacinta?
Oh, yeah, she has. I guess now she stands out more. I mean, I think she was more of a role player who had some pretty special moments, whereas now I think she's just having these really, really elite games. So at the moment, I would say she is probably the All-Australian winger. So no, she's smashing it. I mean, and then adding the goals to her game as well. She was also somebody, I think, a couple of years ago that would get the ball and just kind of, I guess, boot it as far as she could. But
Yeah.
now she hits targets, and now she's also more of the outside running player, which I think really suits her. And I don't know if it's just she's just more confident, or I don't know if the system we're playing suits her better. But she just seems to have a lot more time and space on those wings now. So she has stood up in a really, really big way. Not that she was one that really probably had to, because she was really consistent premiership player, everything like that. So yeah, to see her growth has been really impressive. I really loved watching her, especially the past couple of weeks. She's dominated.
Yeah, definitely running the kilometres out on that wing. You mentioned that she used to, a couple of years ago, just grab it and boot it as long as she can. Almost reminds me of the men's program there. Just
Oh yeah, that's it. That's the problem.
yeah, Bailey Scott like.
Oh no.
Yeah, but one's gone one way, the other one's gone the other way. So,
Very
yeah.
true. Very
Yeah,
true.
you don't have to be a genius to work out the trajectory for each of those. But we'll move forward. Ruby Tripodi, Claire, 24 touches, and she is probably our fourth midfielder behind Mia King, Ash Riddell, Jasmine Garner. But she could be good enough to be the best midfielder at a number of other clubs. I mean, just a fantastic game, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's definitely risen up in the ranks, and I really like that North are giving her more opportunities in that midfield selection. She's going to centre bounces, and I think there's two things that I've really liked about her. It's one is that the extras that she does. I know she's got a running coach and does strength and conditioning with Gaddy and Craven, so there's that real pursuit of excellence in her. But also, yeah, taking up the challenge. I think, secondly, taking up the challenge and demanding midfield time with King, Garner, and Riddell in there, I think is a testament to her character. Like, she's essentially pushed out. I don't know, Carney, she's actually 36 tomorrow, so happy birthday,
Happy
Emma
birthday.
Carney.
Yeah.
But I just saw that because I looked at her profile before. I don't just know those things off the top of my head.
Okay.
But no. I think the evolution, the layers of the North Melbourne Football Clubs, the women's programs, midfield has been really interesting, because when you think about it, Jenna Bruton won a best and fairest in the guts, and Emma Carney was a key contributor. And you would have thought, God, if Carney and Bruton can't play in the midfield, who's stepping up? And it's Ruby Tripodi. Like, it's Mia King. And again, that's just so refreshing as a North Melbourne person to see young kids that are hungry for it and that, demand to get better and not make excuses and want more mid-time because they've been pushed out of it. They said, well, how do I get better? And how do I play with these athletes to make sure that, my time in the midfield is meaningful? So, yeah, credit to Ruby. I think she's a really interesting young woman in terms of her leadership as well. I think she could be a potential captain in the future, although I've said that about Bella Eddy. I've said that about heaps of them. But I don't know, there's just something really very likeable about Tripodi, how she goes about her football and what she does to make sure that she's the most professional athlete out there. So good on her.
I know when I spoke to Ash Riddell probably 12, 18 months ago, I remember she said Bella Eddy's going to be a future captain of the football club. And you actually, if you go on a boundary and watch her, she does communicate a lot out on the field. She does try and pick up her players as often as she can. She's very good with the communication.
Yeah. It's interesting because you would have thought with a club with that much talent of Riddell, Carney and Garner, those young leaders wouldn't get a look in. It would be like, learn your time and your space, like you've got to earn your stripes. But it's really awesome to see that North really value that youth lens, and I think that's really great. Like Bella Eddy on the weekend with her Super Clash and doing the sort of work with the Royal Children's and the Ambassadors, she was just a really great footballer, but even better human being. So it says a lot about her character, I would have thought.
No, definitely, 100%. You can sort of tell she's almost the face. She was almost the face of the club last week with the Super Clash program. She was doing the interviews, doing the commercials or whatever you want to call it, the promotions for the game, and even spoke after the game with Darren Crocker as well. So it's really good characteristic, like you said. She does have putting others first, especially things like that. We can go on about players here, Jacinta, as well. Tess Craven, Erica O'Shea, Jenna Bruton could only play in the forward pocket, but she's still a very good player. And maybe we just aren't singing the praises of Darren Crocker enough here, because the development of this program in the last 3 years has been nothing short of outstanding. He doesn't get the kudos he probably deserves, does he?
No, somehow the credit has missed him, considering he hasn't lost a game for 19 weeks. It is quite unbelievable. But yeah, no, you're right, because even the ability to hold on to these players, because really, like, I know Riddell got offered huge money a couple of years ago. She really could have taken off, but she stuck fat. O'Loughlin, the same thing last year. So to not only hold on to the guns, but to keep the up and coming players like under their wings and developing, and not, I guess, doing a Jai Simpkin and running off to play somewhere else, says a lot about him, the culture at the club, and obviously they back themselves into, I guess, get more out of themselves at North. And even if that means they might end up with 20 less games at the end of their career because they're, under other players, I guess, in their shadows for their first couple of seasons. I think it just says a lot that they really just think that by the time they hit 21, 22, or they've learnt their structures, they're going to be guns, and they're probably going to play in a premiership as well. So, yeah, I think Darren Crocker deserves heaps and heaps of the credit. And as much as we want, Ghana to get a little bit more recognition in terms of like the awards season, I think Darren Crocker probably deserves a little bit more from the media as well.
No, it definitely does. It was only a few years ago, Claire, that when we got rid of Scotty Gowers, I think it was a more cost-cutting move during COVID that we decided to put Darren Crocker in. And what's her name? Carolyn Wilson came in and said, "This is a boys' club." Basically writing him off that he shouldn't be coaching. But he's come a long way. I mean, it was only in 2023 where we had a bad loss to Melbourne during the home and away season. Only 2 weeks before the first final where we smashed them. And a lot of people were labelling us as flat track bullies, and we could only beat the teams. And it was a period of time there that we couldn't beat the top three teams, Adelaide, Brisbane and Melbourne. But we've managed to turn it around. And not only can we beat them, we absolutely smash them now, Claire. It's an amazing effort. And he deserves a lot more praise than he gets, doesn't he?
Yeah, Dean, I was just thinking about 2023 obviously comes with the sadness of the losing the AFLW Premiership. And for me, it stands out as, the image of that is Jenna Bruton being on the bench with her Achilles. Yeah. That really stands out. But I think if you go and you look back, you look at what Darren Crocker was able to, and the club was able to achieve that year, and that is huge wins against massive clubs that we'd never been able to knock off before. So I think it was the first time that we'd beaten the Crows and the D's. And in the same season, I think within a couple of weeks or within finals as well, we'd beaten those clubs. And I'll never forget, the most nervous I've ever been about a football match was actually against Melbourne, because Melbourne to me seemed like our Samson and Goliath. It was just that club that we were never able to tip over. And when we did, and we beat them comprehensively that season, I just knew it was different gravy. I was like, okay, game on. Like, this is a different team. This is a different mindset. And unfortunately, look, we'll never know, that grand final that we played Brisbane in, which we unfortunately lost. It was a pretty tight contest considering that we lost, a key mid-rotation half forward in the first 5 minutes of the game. But I just think that 2023 season really is the origin story to now where we are in 2025 and who we are as a club. Because you remember after 2023, Darren Crocker was instrumental in getting Olivia Birch across and doing the recruiting there. He also was able to grab Eilish Sheeran. And then when you think about all of 2024, he was able to invest in someone like Bogue, put her on the sidelines for a year to learn the game and the craft of AFLW, and then rewarded her with a debutante game over Vicky Wall, because he basically said, look, our culture is about making sure that we're team first, and Blathan Bogue has spent so much time committed to the football club, and Vicky has been playing Gaelic, and irrespective of Vicky Wall being a premiership champion, our culture dictates that we want to reward players like Blaytheen for doing, the hard work. And I think that, to me, speaks volumes of Darren Crocker's and the club culture of North. So, yeah, I think he is incredible. I think hearing him speak in the rooms after the match, he's got a very laconic kind of...
It's very measured, isn't he?
He's so measured. He's so calm. He loves little stories. He loves little metaphors. He loves to see the overall picture. And it makes sense to me why the girls aren't complacent, because he's sort of a step-by-step, stay present within the match, stay present within the moment, and, the journey will fix itself at the end. If we can do the right things at the right time and stay on the course, then we might see, North ideally entering into another grand final. But for now, let's focus on, our match against Essendon. So I think he's got a really cool, calm, collected approach. And I think there's a lot of authenticity to what he does. I think with coaching, and specifically with female coaching, and I say this having done it myself, I think you've got to be really real. And I know that might sound odd, but you have to be authentic. You have to be who you are, and you have to want to connect to these players and who they are on their journey and what they bring to the club. And that's not to say that men's coaching doesn't do that now as well. I think there's extraordinary examples of maybe a Chris Fagan being a really, charismatic and affable, lovable kind of grandpa figure. But Croc just has a real natural way of understanding and knowing every personal journey of the girls and knowing them inside out, and who their families are, and what makes them kind of tick outside of the football field. So, yeah, you can't fake that authenticity, and I'm really proud that he is so committed to the AFLW program, because I think that really it's a flow-on effect. It's a flow-on. His realness and authenticity and investment. He goes all the way from the head coach to the person who, prepares the Gatorade, and the person who's the boot stutter. And I think that's a really special thing. So, yeah, it's a really big, long monologue there, Dean, again. So I apologise for that. But, yeah, love Croc, and I'm really glad that he's a premiership player for the club and also a premiership coach as well. So good on him.
Well, definitely. It definitely is different coaching men's to women's, and he's done both. He's coached senior football with the men's program there for half a year, and he's gone into women's. And even he's admitted it's very different. You have to build relationships. Even myself, on a personal experience, I've coached, junior basketball with women's and men's, and you have to coach them differently. Especially young females, they can be,
how'd they go on the weekend, Dean? Didn't you have your daughter's final?
No, they lost.
Sorry.
They played an undefeated team, so it was like playing North Melbourne.
Okay.
AFL done.
Are you a coach? Are you the manager of the
No,
team?
I was just a spectator.
Okay. But it seems like you do coach junior.
Yeah, I have before. Yeah,
what's it like? Sorry, I'm putting the questions back on you, but what do you reckon is different about it, and how do you get across?
It's about how you communicate to girls, because a lot of them, like if you don't say the right thing, it does affect their confidence, and it can affect their confidence in other areas in life as well. It's not just about basketball; it's about teaching it. Like I'm not the X's and O's expert. I'm definitely no expert in that area, but you got to get to know them and get the best out of them out on a basketball court, and encourage mistakes, and tell them to take risks and don't worry about mistakes and so forth like that. So it is very, very different as opposed to boys. You can be a lot firmer, because boys tend to get egos when they're about 13, 14. They start thinking, we'll start watching Luka Doncic play, and think they're just going to take away these fadeaway 3-pointers, which is quite frustrating and infuriating. And I'm not sure to put them back in their place. Whereas girls are generally not like that. So
it's interesting, isn't it? And like when you said, like, boys can develop an ego. I think also another reason why North is so good, and it doesn't come in stats and datas and champion data or anything, but they're a pretty egoless team. Like there's no big ego. Like Chaz Garner is the most talented athlete, and has been for the past couple of years. And I'm telling you now, the way that I spoke to her after the match, she's just the most
Very
humble
humble.
thing. I just
Yeah.
kept on trying to compliment her, and she gets shy and nervous and just wants to talk about other things. Like, there is absolutely zero ego to her, and I don't think there's any ego on any of the girls at the club as well. Like, they're just like, yeah, we're here to play footy. We play for each other. We play for the club, and yeah, we play for the jumper. And I think, maybe Jai Simpkin could learn a thing for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting there, Claire. Yeah, the learner to him. Yeah, I remember. I know speaking to Jazz Garner a couple of times through the podcast, and yeah, like I'll talk her up and say, you've done this all Australian and all that, and she'd quickly deflect and sort of said, I couldn't have done it without my teammates, and they always help me first, and the coaches. She never. Yeah, she doesn't like talking about herself. Yeah, it's a very. Yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes, especially when you're that good. So it doesn't sit comfortably
No.
with Jazz Garner.
Which it's probably good that it's her, not me. Because tell you what, Dean, I'd have an ego the size of the MCG Surface Oval. I would just.
Honestly, so you should. So you should, though.
If I was
exactly.
If I was the Jazz Garner of my profession, I would have an ego.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm the who I am. Actually, I shouldn't compare it to. Nah, look, I could be better, but at the moment, I'm sitting. I'm like this, sitting off the halfback, getting sheepies. That's what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dean, I'm sorry. I've taken your podcast in a different direction as per usual. I apologise.
Yeah, and I played not junior cricket. I played cricket, there for 25 years, and every time I made runs, I'd go out to a nightclub that night and try and pick up girls, tell them how much I made. So it was.
That's so funny. I'm just imagining you, Dean, like 8 rum and cokes deep, trying to whisper in a girl's ear. Yeah, I made 25 not out today.
If it was 25, I'd usually tell them it was about 55 or something like that. So, it never worked once. Funny that.
I took 4 for, and still no phone numbers were given to you in that time.
No,
I don't think I ever. A couple of times at 3 in the morning.
Okay.
When they couldn't see straight. I sort of did okay.
Yeah. How did you meet your wife?
Through mutual friends. That's going back 2008. We were at a party. One time, and I approached her, and
Did you tell her your stats for the day?
Yes, that what it was.
2008 was. I can't remember. I would have played. I don't think I did. I think she was wearing something North Melbourne because she's a North Melbourne supporter, like a scarf.
Oh, amazing! Perfect.
Yeah, so I just talked to her a bit about that, and went from there.
Good on you. I tell you what. It'd be hard to be talking stats. Like, imagine Jazzy going to Jenna, trying to be like, I did this on the weekend.
Oh, no.
She's like, yeah, well, I kicked 3 and I've got 2 flags instead of your 1. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be such a humbling experience when you do that. Like, Carney walking up, I'm an all-time Australian best and fairest. And she'll was like, cool, I kicked 4. Like, what are you going to do?
I was watching a game a couple of weeks ago. Sorry to cut you off there, Claire. Where Carney kicked the ball to Sheila. I think it went over her head, and I think Sheila told her off. I sort of wonder if that's they go back home and sort of say, "What are you whinging about?" or something.
Oh God, that would be funny. I'd love to watch. I'd love to even just watch couples like commentate each other and be like, "Oh, you probably could have gone in harder there."
That's like when she's watching what's her name? Healy's watching Stark.
Yes,
that's good value. That's really good. Yeah,
she is good value on that. I did. I hope she doesn't mind me that. I don't think she'd mind that she told me this sledge, because I was asking Carney in the rooms afterwards, what's the best sledge she ever did? And she said, it's not a sledge so much, but she told a debutante their first game, and they must have been new to football. She went up to Carney at the centre bounce and said, "Oh, hey, are we allowed to move?" And Carney's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh, when the ball goes up, are we allowed to move?" And Carney said, "Well, I am, and you're not." So for a whole quarter, this poor debutante, obviously come from a different athletic, background or something, did not move in the centre bounce for a whole quarter. I was like, "Oh my God, that is such a
brutal."
Netball background or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, I think she was
just stayed a square. Yeah.
Literally, I was just like, "Carnes, that's brutal." She's like, "Anything to win." I was like, "You know what? Fair play to you. Fair
Yep.
play to you. So, yeah, I just think that was pretty funny.
It's fair to say she gets a bit of white line fever. Emma
Does she ever? I would
I
not.
like it.
Oh, I love it. You know what? I love it because I love a bit of biff in the women's game. I don't know why. There's something about when there's a bit of an argy-bargy at the women's, you really get fired up. With the men's, I'm like, shut up, go away. But with the women, there's just something like, I guess because we're not used to watching, it's not socially normalized that women have physical fights, right? Like, they'll get you verbally and maybe online, but watching women go for it, I don't know, it's just like something's different about it. I quite like it. I enjoy it. So, I don't want to get suspended for it, but a bit of biff doesn't hurt, Carnes. May as well.
Yeah, definitely. We'll move forward. Jacinta, how much are we going to smash Essendon by?
It's gonna be a nightmare for them. I like. They have scored in the past 2 weeks. They've scored 2 goals. So I would hate to think what's going to happen to them. And I think they've conceded 60 points the
20 or
past couple.
something.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And they were playing 10th and 11th on the ladder. So who knows what's going to happen to them this week? I know, to be fair, they do have a long injury list. I know they've got those 3 or 4 ACLs and people are just dropping all over the place for them. But yeah, I think it's going to be quite a nightmare for them. I think the minimum will be 10 goals, but I think it's going to be probably 13, 14 goals, probably.
Claire, are you thinking the same thing? It could be a cricket score here.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering, Dean, do you still get the whole 4 points for being Essendon?
Is that an Andrew Mackie?
You still get it. Well, I figure it was said to us, so we can say it back now. Look, it'll be... And look, I really like Woody, Natalie Wood, who's the coach of Essendon, who's obviously in struggle town at the moment. I used to actually teach with her. She's a really nice woman, very invested in women's footy. So there's no question of that. But yeah, Woody's going to flood on the weekend. And
she did it last year.
She did it last year. She'll do it again. But yeah, 60 plus. I guess it'd be easier to say who's going to kick the most goals from our team. That's probably the harder question. And I think maybe Randall might have a field day. Vicky Wall out the back, Bogue. But yeah, look, I said this on Twitter, a public holiday to destroy Windy Hill. Oh. I'm living in my utopia, to be honest. This is the peak. This is my grand final, well, men's version, I guess. But look, it'll be pretty convincing. I just, to be honest, it sounds very arrogant at the moment. I'm just hoping no injuries. I don't really care about the score. The score is irrespective. It's just let's get unscathed and move on to, I think we've got Adelaide next week. Well, actually, do we have Adelaide? Oh, no, Sydney. No. Sorry, in Tasmania.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's just move on, get the 4 points, and think about Sydney.
No, it's almost like that a little bit. I mean, there could be a chance of a bit of complacency. Every time I think that they might just put in a bit of a flat effort. They seem to keep themselves up each week. These girls are full credit to them, and that's a good thing about not having egos in your team. They're all for one, and they seem to get themselves up and focus on the task and being present, like you've mentioned, Claire. Team changes, I guess, is the only thing. Jacinta, we don't have much to pick from. Vicky Wall should come back this week. And Elisa Lachlan is out. That's probably the only change I can think of at the moment. Can you think of anything else?
Well, I guess we've got to cover Gat, don't we? So,
well, she was out 2 weeks ago. She didn't play on the weekend.
Yeah, so she's still. I don't know. I think they're still mucking around with the wing positions at the moment. So, yeah, it probably will only just be Vicky Wall comes in. But yeah, again, City's a good time to, if they're going to have a fiddle around with some of the players, it's probably a good week to do it. I don't know. Maybe Emma King can come in this week. It won't really matter, will it? I mean, if we just...
It's not a bad player to come into your team, a dual Australian.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe they can give her a run just because she's probably sick of playing those scratch matches as well now. So how many more of them can she dominate? So, yeah, it might be worth giving her a go. But otherwise, yeah, it'd probably just be Vicky Wall coming in.
Yeah, What about yourself, Claire?
Yeah,
You thinking anyone different?
I was on the
No.
same track as you. I was, because I was at the function, then I came downstairs at Arden Street and I was watching. God, I feel sorry for the players that have to do the conditioning afterwards. And I was watching Kingy run laps, and I was like, "Soon, Em, you'll be out there soon." Because I imagine, God, how frustrating for her. And look, as much as I love Kim Rennie, I wouldn't mind seeing Em be able to get a bit of match fitness in a low stakes game. So that's what I would be doing. I'm doing, Alice for Vicky, Rennie for King, and if you really wanted to tinker, I wouldn't mind seeing a debutante come in, like a Ella or a Georgia Stubbs. I'm pretty keen on that, but the problem is you've got to remove someone. And Bella Eddie's just finding some form after her kind of injury setback, and you can't take Bruton out, and you can't take Randall and Sheila. So, yeah, it's probably going to be Vicky Wall for Alice, and then obviously, ideally, King for Rennie. And Rennie just managed. But I don't know. Something tells me about Croc that he's pretty ruthless. And like I said, he's not a complacent man. And North will be looking at this game and ironing it off and seeing it as another challenge. And they'll take it very seriously. So I don't think they'll tinker at all.
I don't think Rennie will want to be stuck with those scratch matches. What if Emma King plays really well and then she's the one,
that's the
the
problem.
emergency for weeks? It's just going to drive him crazy.
Yeah, true. But I don't know. Like, in terms of assets, like, is it worthwhile getting a King fit? And match fit is very different to scrimmage fit. Like,
No, I agree. So, she needs to have it done.
Yeah, she needs to have, like, I don't want her to be underdone going into the back half of the season. So, but yeah, go try and tell Kim Rennie she's not playing. So,
I'd be scared. I'd be really scared because I don't want to sit. I don't want to miss out another flag. So
correct. And I also think traditionally, I don't think North is managed. I don't think they're the type of club that do that sort of stuff anyway. So, I mean, look, their preseason is longer than the entire season. So, yeah, I don't think the workload's going to be much of an issue for Rennie. But if you're going to tinker at any point, it probably would be, this week. But I guess we'll wait and see. What about you, Dean? Would you make any changes?
Yeah, mate. Look, you probably just have to look at the older veterans like a Kate Sheila, or like maybe she could come in. Yeah, Emma King could come in for her because back-to-back 6-day breaks. It could be a possibility. Jenna Bruton's probably had a few soft tissue injuries over the last couple of years. You could always look at resting her if you want to get an Alice Slocum in. But generally speaking, I don't think they'll. I think they'll just do the Vicky Wall for O'Loughlin. To be honest with you, like you said, Claire, they don't like to tinker with their form, which is fair enough. What's your final prediction anyway, Jacinto? I think you said about 13 goals. Are you still sticking with that?
Yeah, I think maybe 76 points. I think that the betting odds, I saw something yesterday, was like Essendon were like $34 to win. Ooh. Just something mental like that. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to go like 76 points.
Oh, that should be $3,400.
Well, yeah, that is true. I don't know if it goes
really
that
don't
high.
They've got no hope. Unless I even think VFLW team could almost probably knock them off.
I would agree with that. Actually, I would agree with that.
Yeah. What's your prediction, Claire? You sort of like a preseason 98-point win?
Yeah, I think. It depends on how much they flood, to be honest.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing, because you could go 100 plus, but if it's 666 and then it's repeat stoppage, and this is another like terrible thing that's going to happen. It's a public holiday. People are absolutely dining out for footy, and it'd be really great to have such a good rivalry between North and Essendon up on the TV, in the pubs and in the bars. And unfortunately, North have come to the table with a great list, but I think Essendon are going to fall down quite flat. I think anywhere between 70 to 80 points is probably ideally, depending on weather as well. Sometimes the wind plays a good defensive role for Essendon. Anywhere between 60 and 80. I think it'll be interesting whether, my bigger question is, will Essendon score?
Free.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that. I don't. It might be a game of them not kicking a goal. They might kick one. Well, they've kicked one each week the last 2 weeks, so that's against average opposition. So
Yeah,
They'll
correct.
get a 50 somewhere. There'll be a 50 given to
Well,
them. They'll get one.
yeah, free kicks and
Yeah.
so they'll look after them.
They'll get a charity, I think, and that'll be. You know what? Let's predict. I reckon they'll get a 50-meter on the wing that will turn into a 70 and put someone in the goal square.
Yeah,
and
body
press
two
button.
or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
Better stuff.
Yeah.
That's their
apart from-
highlight.
Yeah, truly. That they're a bit of they're kind of like Richmond at the moment. They're in rabble territory. I know they've got 3 wins, but
I don't know how.
well, they played Richmond, one. I think they've played. Who else did they play? I just need to get my laptop.
It was early in the year. They won the 3 games. I can't remember who they beat.
I think they've definitely beaten.
Didn't they smash the Giants?
Did they?
Yeah,
thought they
was
smashed
that
it,
round
but-
2 or something like that?
Yeah, it was early. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. It's they'll be a fascinating watch because they haven't lost a lot. They lost Paige Scott to Richmond. I understand they're injured. Maddie Gay was they're all Australian, arguably all Australian. She's a nice girl. I've met her a couple of times. Really like her, but how North Melbourne didn't get an all Australian backline player, I'll never understand. But they have lost quite a bit of depth. I know with Brooke Walker, Maddie Gay, and all these players. So that doesn't help. But I still think people like Maddie Prespakis, Sophie Alexander, Stephanie Kane, they probably should be a fairly bit better than what they are at the moment.
They won their first 3 games.
And
but who do they beat, Dean?
Richmond,
Yeah.
West Coast,
No one.
GWS.
Yeah. Okay. Enough said.
Yeah. Nothing special, but it's still.
Well, I mean,
you can beat what's in front of you too.
West Coast are actually the best of that lot. That's how sad that is.
But West Coast are also. I thought they were building until Melbourne ripped them a new one on the weekend.
They're okay. I mean, they are building, but they didn't have much to build from.
That's true. I mean, this Ella Roberts girl, she looks quite interesting. Like, I think she's got a big future and a big ceiling. But I think Daisy, in a lot of respects, it's going to be a slow burn over there.
It'll take years.
It'll take quite a bit of time. Considering also, AFLW just doesn't have the same ways to equal out that the men's do, and the men's aren't even doing that either. But they don't have the same money and the opportunities that the men's can offer. So it's so much harder for these teams to close the gap because they can't throw bags of money and recruit and get really good players into the club because there's not the money there to do so, or there's not the list sizes to do so. So it's interesting, but I do hope for the sake of the league it does get better. I do think that gap between North and the rest is widening, but I do hope clubs like Carlton, who I think have gotten better, in regards to how they were playing and what they've been able to put together this season. I hope we see a bit of a rise, but Essendon, bit of a rabble. You hate to see it.
I don't mind. Look, I hope the gap widens even further, Claire. I'm happy to win every game by 10 plus goals, so I don't really care about the rest of the competition.
Really? You don't want the league to get a bit better?
I like living rent free in people's heads that they complain about it, that we're far too good.
Yeah.
Whose fault's that? That's no one else's fault. We haven't done anything illegal, so.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
why do they complain? We've actually only won 1 flag.
I know.
I would understand if we'd won 3 or 4. Sure, let's maybe try and bring them down, but we've only got 1.
Yeah. Well, some absolute crackpot Brisbane supporter was complaining.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, Dean and I did the classic. Like, what are you doing, man? I was just winding him up.
Good on you. Good on you.
He's complaining, even though his team in the men's program get bloody every first round draft pick through father son. So
plus add on Draper and Oscar Allen coming to them after they played for the grand final. Yeah, I mean, I think through the history of the AFLW as well, Brisbane Lions have been in something like 5 grand finals, and they want to complain that there's not a distribution of talent. What are we doing here, guys? Fair enough if you're a small, St Kilda sort of club, bit of an expansion club, kind of middle of the road. But don't complain when you've been in that many grand finals and your last flag was in 2023. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And I understand it's Twitter, it's crackpot energy, but yeah, it's fascinating how people operate. And as much as I do enjoy the 10-goal wins, I do want the league as a whole, because here's the thing, Dean, when you have clubs like North that are so far ahead, I think other people come at the AFL and it kind of like it takes its legitimacy away, because they're like, oh well, it's not a serious league. And you're like, well, it absolutely is.
People are going to come up with that anyway, Claire. They're going to come up with ways like, they don't score enough, or their skills are shit, or whatever it is. They do that anyway. So if they're going to say that, I'd rather they say, well, we're winning every game by 10 goals.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very valid point. That's so valid. Like, yeah, if they're going to come for us, at least we're winning flags while they come for us. I think that it would be nice. Not nice. I think for the future of women's football, it would be great to see It
will happen eventually anyway. Like, I think we'll dominate next, 2 or 3 years at least. And then, it'll even out eventually. And, eventually, Cardi's not going to be there. Sheila's not going to be there. Jasmine Garner's going to be, 34, 35. Eventually it will equal out. You just why you get it. And then in 3 or 4 years' time, we'll be complaining that someone else is too strong.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And there's always, that's the whole point of a ladder. There's always someone on top. So yeah, you're right. No, that's right. So yeah, well, screw you, Essendon. I'll enjoy our 100-point win on the weekends.
Exactly. Anyways, I've got some questions here. So last week I did it with you, Claire. This is a competition between our own teammates. So I'll start off here, Jacinta, with you. Once I ask a question, you understand what the format is. So I'm going to start with a pretty simple one. So who is averaging more possessions per game between Tessa Boyd and Taylor Gatt?
I feel like this might be a trick question. I'm going to say Tessa Boyd.
It is Tessa Boyd, 14.7 possessions per game. Taylor Gatt with 14.4.
Ooh, tight.
Yeah. Claire, who is averaging more clearances per game this year, Mia King or Ash Riddell?
Oh, surely Ash. Surely.
Is that your answer?
Oh, the way that you're saying that, it makes me think that it's Mia King. You're saying average.
Yeah.
No, stick with your gut, Ash Riddell.
Well, I'm going to screw you over here, Claire. They're both equaling 6 per game.
Dino, you stitched me up again. I love it, but I hate it. No,
I thought you would enjoy that,
I did
Claire.
enjoy that thoroughly. Yeah, it's good to know. Mia King's a start. God, she's gotten good, hasn't she?
Oh, absolute jet.
Yeah.
I haven't even mentioned her tonight. That's how good she is. We've bypassed her. Who is averaging more contested possessions per game between Eilish Sheeran and Ruby Tripodi? Jacinta.
I'm going to say Sheeran.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, lock it in.
Yeah, all right. It's actually Ruby Tripodi is averaging 7.3. Eilish Sheeran is averaging 7.2. So it's pretty close.
I just pictured Tripodi on the outside more. Okay, yep.
Just Claire, who is averaging more scoring involvements per game between Blackie Bogue and Talia Randall?
Oh, I'm going to go Bogue.
And that is your final answer?
Oh, God, you're good at this.
You're not going to ask Jacinta to phone a friend, or?
No, don't phone me.
Yeah, look, no, you're very good at this. I love your hosting, but Randall, she gave off to Sheila on the weekend. Bogue didn't. Go with the gut. I'm going to go Bogue.
You are correct.
Yes!
Well done.
5.2 and Randall 5.
Yeah, so. Randall, oh, geez, that's close. And Randall just goes back and does it, whereas Bogue's still sort of new to the game and very much like, oh, I should hand it off. She's always handing it off to Vicky or someone. So she's very selfless. Good on her.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, very unselfish player. Jacinta, who is averaging more stoppage clearances between Bella Eddy and Elise O'Loughlin?
Oh,
Oh,
They don't have many each, but there is one
Yeah.
in front.
I reckon it's O'Loughlin.
That is your final answer.
Oh no, no. You know, I'm just going to change it just because. Let's go Bella Eddie then.
That's your final answer.
Yes, that can be my final answer.
Yeah, it is correct. Bella Eddie, good change
Okay,
of heart
there we go. Okay.
0.5 and Elisa Lachlan 0.2. So
Point
yeah.
2.
Wow.
Last one here, Claire. Well, I'll probably do this most weeks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I love it.
Who is averaging more marks per game, Jasmine Ferguson or Kim Rennie?
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna. Oh no, because they chip it around in the back line a bit to resettle. But Rennie's been clunking on the wing and take. Oh, you know what, Rennie? I'm gonna
Oh,
lock
no.
in. I love Rennie. I love Ferg though as well. But I am gonna lock in as my final answer. No phone a friend. No 50-50. I'm gonna go Kim Rennie. I think. Is that correct?
What do you think, Jacinta?
I was waiting for you to say, is that your final answer?
Yeah,
But no, I'm gonna go with Fergs.
you would be correct, Jacinta. It is
Oh,
Jasmine
Phone a
Ferguson.
friend.
If I ask a question about Jasmine Ferguson, Claire,
I know.
the answer's going to be Jasmine Ferguson.
I know,
So-
but it's that classic paper, scissors, rock thing, and the person keeps on
Yeah.
putting the rock, and you expecting them to change, and you're like, they're not changing. You should just go with paper. But I thought, nah, he stitched me. There were two things about Jasmine Ferguson last week,
last
so
week?
there'll be one not about her this week. So I try to play that different thing, and it's, you know what? And you know what? Next week you're gonna ask me something, and you're gonna stump me again. I just know it. It's written in the stars. No, I love her. God, she's a warrior, isn't she? She's so good.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
good
on
play.
that one, last week when I was listening to you guys do this, I remember I was screaming at it because you were saying, Dean asked that, was something like who's got, I don't know, 100% by, above 90% by foot or something, a question
Yes.
like that.
80%.
And then
yeah,
I was
disposal efficiency.
screaming, oh, Libby Birch. Why didn't she saying Libby Birch? And then it was Ferguson. I was like, oh, I was wrong anyway. Bloody.
I did put in the tweet. I'm like, just so people know what the answer is, Jazz Ferguson, because I just think when I listen to podcasts and they get on and on and on and they don't give the answer, I get so I get that that's the game, but I get so frustrated, so I end up googling it. So but I love Dean's questions because they're not really like you can Google it, but it's not instantaneous information.
It'll take you a while.
No, I love it. I love this game. It's a nice little way to finish off the pod, Dean. Oh, actually, I'm closing you out. You're the host.
We might get you next week, Dean. We might throw something.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I love that.
Just while we're on it, what was Jasmine Ferguson's disposal efficiency on the weekend, Claire?
Oh no! Do I at least have a multiple choice? Like,
well, it's a season average, so
80%.
80%, yeah.
Oh,
wow. Yes, you're learning, Claire.
I'm learning. You know what? I am learning. 80% by foot, not bad. I mean, they do love your Ferg, but they chip it around a bit. Like,
her first possession was a handball straight to the opposition. It was a turnover.
On
the weekend, and I thought, geez, there goes the 80%. I thought the next four have got to be perfect, and yeah. Lo and behold,
how many disposals did she end up with on the weekend?
Only 10, but 8%.
Still pretty good.
Still decent.
Not bad for a defender. Yeah, that's definitely. They chipped it around a couple of times. But they look after each other back there, which is good to see.
They get around each other. Like, oh, you know what, Libby, you have a free handball. You can go at 90% this week.
100%.
I love it. And then they tell you what though, Erica O'Shea, I'd love to know her disposal efficiency actually. Do you have it up there by any chance?
Oh, geez, I'll talk amongst yourselves while I try
to
find it.
I would love to compare, I guess, from the start of her career.
That's true. That's very true.
I just think that, her start, and look, all credit to her. Like, I really, she's learning the sport for the first time, but I reckon from her first season to now, we only see a massive improvement.
I reckon she used to get caught a lot. She just get caught holding the ball a lot.
She did a bit, didn't she?
Now she's fine. She flies.
I also think it's that, and what I love about it's probably going back to Croc, it's probably because when she first came to the club, Croc was like, play your game, do what's natural to you. And then, probably hasn't liked being caught, so learnt how to kind of zig and zag and break different lines. But yeah, she's definitely come a long way. Like, I think she's also she gets confused with Gat quite a fair bit because of how similar they look.
Yes.
But I definitely think that she's never been, she's always been a pretty profound athlete. She's always had the six pack. So she hasn't had to work on the running. She's worked on her skill, and it's pretty evident in her craft. But yeah, how you going, Dean?
Yeah, I've got it. What do you think? Is it over or under 70%?
Oh.
I'll go with you, Jacinta. Yeah.
I reckon under.
What do you reckon, Claire?
Half back roll. It's a hard one. Yeah, probably under 70.
Yeah, it's league average 68.6. So,
okay,
it's not bad. It's really not bad.
It's still pretty good.
It's still It's still pretty good with a person who's running 1,000,000 miles an hour having to make a quick decision. I love sitting here. It's like on the weekend on the Brownlow. You're sitting on the couch with a bag of chips, being like, "Oh, he doesn't deserve 3 votes," and you're like, "You can barely run 5K, girl. What are you doing?" No, 68% going full tilt into the Arden Street paddock is pretty good. So well done, Eric O'Shea, if you're listening. We love you. And we think you could go even higher this week. I'm predicting 70 plus disposal efficiency this week for you.
Oh, it's coming.
It's coming. Although
the ball will have to go on the back line, Claire. She might not. Well, she might be 0%.
Yeah, there might be some players that don't touch it, to be honest.
Possibly. Who knows? But nothing wrong with that anyway. Anyway, girls, I've kept you here long enough. Jacinta, any final words before I let you go?
My main thing is I am going on Friday, but I'm not supporting any Essendon tills, bars, restaurants, anything there. I cannot support that club. I will bring my own food and drinks. That's all. And I'm also recommending everyone else do that.
100%. No, would not give that club any 5 cents if I had that in my wallet, to be honest with you. It would feel like I'd be having an affair on my football club. So
that's right. We'll give money to the lawn bowls next door as usual, but we will not support them.
Yeah, I'll give it to anyone besides them.
Yeah.
So, Claire, any final words?
I love it. I love when you guys say things with your full chest, and I think just in a you sum up that.
Out. Yeah, it's puffed
out. I have to admit, I go a little more softer on the women than I do the men. The men I cannot stand. The women I have a little bit more time for. Not really. Like, when pressed, I don't want good things to happen for them.
But they can win a couple games. Is that what you're saying? They're allowed to win a couple.
Look, I don't begrudge them winning the same way that, I used to look at Essendon and look at their fixture, and I'd look at the North fixture first, see who we could win against, and then I'd look at the Essendon fixture and hope they got top 4 teams. Whereas I don't necessarily have that anger towards their women's. Like, I don't mind Bonnie Too Good. I think she's probably a nice person, and I really like their coach Natalie Wood as well, like I said. But yeah, good point. We'll pack my own hot dog thermos.
Very good, very good.
And make sure not $1 will be sent at Windy Hill. But yeah, look, I look forward to seeing the glum and sad, depressed faces of Essendon supporters as we've seen for the last 20 years, roughly. So that'll be nice, Dean. What about you? You getting to the game?
I don't know yet. I should be able to. I don't think I've got anything on Friday. Good opportunity to get down. I'm not too sure if you're going down, Claire. Are you getting down? It's a bit of a trek.
Yeah, I was able to make the last one. I don't know. It's a 50-50. Tell you what, living near Geelong, though, it's nice to get away from the cult that is the supporters at the moment. They're just, I get it. They're in a grand final, but, oh, God, they're celebrating like they've already won it. I'm like I said, I'm about 50-50 at the moment. The time slot is not ideal for me, but we'll see. Any chance to watch us absolutely destroy the souls, the hearts and the minds of Windy Hill is always a good opportunity for me to watch live. So if not, I will be glued to the TV, watching every single goal be a dagger into their little hearts. So should be good.
Well, long live Brad Scott as well in the men's program. So hopefully he keeps doing fantastic work there.
I do have to say though, Dean, the one thing I also can't hate about Essendon is Ben Brown. He's one of the coaches of the AFLW program, and I could just never hate that man. So. No. I mean, I don't want him to win, but I also don't want anything bad to happen to him.
Just don't want it to be his fault that they're losing. Eh?
Exactly. Like, let him enjoy something, I guess, about the loss. And that's the perfect situation for us.
Or maybe he's just thieving money from him, Claire.
Exactly.
So giving him a paycheck. So that's...
that's what Goldie was doing anyway. So,
and now he's trying to do it again.
That's a whole other story. Well, Jacinta, thanks so much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, have you back next week.
Yes, thanks, Dean. I might see you Friday.
It sounds good. We've never met in person, have we?
No. Once I think I saw you wandering around, but I got distracted and couldn't get you.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
just,
right.
Just thought I'd own
Watching
up to that.
Garner, probably. Yeah, that's right. No stress. Yeah. No, all good. We'll definitely try and make that happen. Claire, always a pleasure with you. Thanks so much for coming on tonight. And, I'm sure we'll chat throughout the course of the week.
Sounds good. Go Roos, Dean.
Sounds good indeed. And thank you to all you lovely listeners as well. Don't forget, like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all that fun stuff. Tell Essendon Brad Scott's doing an amazing job if you can. Keep that men's program suffering. Anyways, until I'll probably be back later this week. I'm going to talk a little bit about the men.